Welcome to Mainland Television Regional News. I'm Graham O'Brien, and today's bulletin: the need for fluoride in Nelson's water questioned, wow in the world, the Heart Foundation in a spin, and more. This month, Nelson's Marlborough DHB Principal Dental Officer Rob Beaglehole, armed with a child's 6 teeth in a jar, has come out saying that adding fluoride to the city's water supply would improve the dental health of the entire community, particularly children. He also said that the World Health Organization has claimed there are no adverse health effects from fluoridation of drinking water. We spoke to Mr. Stan Littris, who represents a national group of dentists who are looking at and discussing fluoridation research, and who does not share Mr. Beaglehole's stance of fluoride in the water supply. In Nelson here, the fluoridation issue has been pushed on us at the moment. Can you give us some arguments for not having fluoride in the water, please?
Well, I believe it's a contaminant which can cause health problems, and we don't need to have it in the water. You can't control the dose. It denies people the right to choose treatment. It denies informed consent to medication, and claims of reduction of decay are highly questionable in modern developed countries.
Yeah, that's my next question. Is there any real proof that the fluoridation in water actually reduces decay?
No, not in today's society. There may have been some benefit last century when kids had 10 times as many cavities as they do today. But now, with all the fluoride that we get through toothpaste, food and other sources, the benefit of fluoride in the water is insignificant. You need to understand that it's now widely accepted that swallowing fluoride while teeth are forming does not make them more resistant to decay. The overriding effect of fluoride is topical, not systemic, so swallowing it is of negligible value, if any, but swallowing it does, however, increase the health risks.
Okay, because here in Nelson we have our DHB Dr. Beaglehole with a canister of 6 kids' teeth that he's pulled out. That is a big push to stop the sugar and the sugary drinks, which we're all in favour of, but he's using those teeth as an argument for fluoridating the water as well. Do you think that's legitimate?
I don't believe there's evidence to back those kind of claims, because when a 3-year-old child needs to have 11 teeth extracted, it's usually because they're getting sugar overdose. A lot of low-income, low-education families tend to put Coca-Cola and fruit juice in babies' drinking bottles, and that's what causes that syndrome, which happens all around the world, and whether you have fluoridation or not. Water fluoridation at the minimal levels of fluoride that you get is not going to be of any benefit to early childhood caries. I noted that in the press, Dr. Beaglehole denied that it was early childhood caries. I've been a dentist for about 30 years. I can't think of any other explanation, so I'd like him to perhaps elaborate on what else it might be.
Sure, yeah, we'd like to hear a bit more about it. Are there any comparisons between cities with and without fluoridation that hold water in New Zealand?
Oh yeah, there are plenty. There's plenty of data there. There's data, international data from the World Health Organization, and there's OECD data. We have New Zealand health data, which is available online from the Health Department website. All of the data shows that there's no significant difference between fluoridated and unfluoridated communities in today's world. The major systematic reviews show that there's been minimal benefit, and generally they're based on quite old research. There hasn't been much specific research on that in the last couple of decades. They also show that there is no compelling evidence of any benefit to adults of fluoridated water or of addressing inequalities. The systematic research shows those claims aren't really evidence-based.
Sure. I mean, one of the arguments that's being used is that the WHO is in favour of fluoridating the water. Could you comment on that, please?
The World Health Organization is more concerned with places that have too much fluoride naturally occurring in their water, places such as in China, India, Iran, which have maybe 4 or 5 times in some areas what we have in New Zealand. It's a lot more difficult to remove from the water when there's too much of it. They do go along with water fluoridation as a means of reducing tooth decay, although it isn't specified whether they're referring to developed countries such as New Zealand or countries which don't have access to or as much fluoride in the food chain as we do here. However, the World Health Organization does suggest that if you're going to fluoridate the water supply, you need to be able to measure and monitor the total fluoride intake at the individual level to avoid problems from overdosing. We're not doing that here, and that's a concern.
Wow, yes. Personally, do you feel that it would be better to put the money into education in those lower socioeconomic communities to overcome this problem of children's teeth being destroyed in an early age?
Yeah, definitely. Tooth decay is not caused by lack of water fluoridation. It's caused by sugar and lack of oral hygiene. And if we're only talking about a very small number of children, we can target those groups with proper prevention schemes, as is used overseas. Scotland has a very good one, and there's another one, I believe, in Thailand, which is being run by Sweden, and they show dramatic reduction in tooth decay just by showing kids how to brush their teeth and not to eat too much sugar. Nothing to do with the water fluoridation.
Sure. I understand that you're coming down to Nelson to give a talk later next month. Would you be agreeable to having an open debate with Dr. Beaglehole about this so that people attending can hear both sides of the story?
I'd love to do that. I'm confident with all the research that I've been looking at over the last 3 or 4 years, and I'm happy to debate that with anyone who thinks that they can counter any of it, because I'd welcome it.
We asked people in the street their thoughts on putting fluoride in Nelson's water. Fluoridation of Nelson's water supply is a hot topic at the moment. What are your thoughts on this?
I don't have a problem with it. Yep. Too much fluoride in water has a sort of makes teeth go a bit motley, but at the right quantity there's nothing wrong with it.
I think it's important that it is fluoridated. Kids' teeth need to be looked after, and it's an important way to help families get that focus and look after an important part of children's health.
There are other people out there saying, well, no, actually, it's not that good for you.
No.
I come from the old school when fluoride was in the water, and to be honest, I think it actually helps keep the teeth white. But that aside, I think if people want fluoride, they can buy toothpaste with fluoride in it.
Cannabis users in the region may find there's a shortage of the illegal substance after a 42-year-old man, a 52-year-old and a woman from Blackball were arrested after Tasman police executed search warrants in Blackball earlier this week. All 3 are facing drug charges. Both men will also face charges in relation to the death of a kiwi and other native birds. Several illegal gin traps were found around the cannabis plot. 2 of the traps contained dead and decomposing wekas, and a third contained the severed foot of a kiwi. The injured kiwi was found by Doc and Wildlife Trust workers, but unfortunately the injury was such that the bird was unable to be saved. The investigation also located evidence of a large commercial cannabis growing, drying and storage operation. During the search, a significant quantity of cannabis material was recovered. The 51-year-old woman has been charged with possession of cannabis oil. All will appear at Greymouth District Court next month. The launch of a single regional landfill arrangement between Nelson City Council and Tasman District Councils has been delayed from its proposed July 1st start. The stumbling block has been the lack of agreement on funding future capital costs for the redevelopment of the landfill at Eves Valley to receive Nelson waste. Tasman Mayor Richard Kempthorne has said that this would be disadvantageous to Tasman ratepayers. He also said it would be business as usual at Eves Valley Landfill and at Tasman's resource recovery centres until a mutually beneficial alternative arrangement is agreed. The Tasman Council's long-term plan will provide for the single regional landfill arrangement beyond year one. The 2015-16 budgets remain largely unaffected. The WOW World of Wearable Art exhibition is set to open in Townsville, North Queensland next week. The exhibition, which has recently hosted for 4 months by Auckland War Memorial Museum and attracted 134,000 people. The exhibition has 3 distinct sections. The first features 32 garments from the permanent WOW collection, a workroom for visitors to the exhibition to try their hand at designing a piece of wearable art, and the third element is an audio-visual presentation that gives audiences a small taste of the annual WOW Awards show. Founding director Dame Susie Moncrief, who heads WOW's creative team, said it has been a long-held dream of hers to take WOW to the world, and the exhibition allows WOW to do just that. The Perk Tucker Regional Gallery Director Shane Fitzgerald is gearing up for the exhibition and said that it's a coup for Townsville and a wonderful cultural experience for Queensland. Following the Townsville exhibition, the display will travel to the Bishop Museum in Honolulu and is expected to remain on tour in the USA until 2018. Tickets are now on sale for this year's Wellington-based World of Wearable Art Awards, which runs over 14 nights in September and October 2015. The Heart Foundation is working up to a spin with its annual peddling fundraiser, the 4-Hour Spin, coming up on Friday this week. I spoke with Avril West from the Nelson arm of the Heart Foundation about this event and the work they do. Avril, thanks for coming and talking to us today. The Heart Foundation's got a fundraiser coming up. Can you tell us a little bit more about it, please?
Yeah, sure. It's the My Gym 4-Hour Spin Relay, an individual challenge. So we've encouraged mostly workplaces to get a team of at least 4 if possible, but some have gone to 7 or 8, and keep a bike spinning for 4 hours. So we've got that team relay, but then there's some individuals who are going to do the 4 hours on their own. So I think there'll be 4 of them doing that tomorrow night.
Yeah, it's a long time to be sitting on the bikes, and they're stationary bikes.
They are stationary bikes, but the hard thing is that you've got an instructor out front kind of encouraging you and motivating you to push on, and when you've got 4 hours ahead of you, it's kind of, take a bit of discipline to pace it out.
Sure will. And the funds, what will they be used for?
Well, we're looking for local projects, and one that's really important to us is looking at support groups, because all the evidence shows us that if somebody has had a heart event of some description, maybe they've had a bypass as an intervention, then they are less likely to have more problems further on if they can be part of a rehab and support program. So we're looking to establish more of those groups. The other thing we want to do is actually get more resources so that we can get our fabulous resources out into the community. So there's a cost to those, and all the doctors, the nurses, they love to use our resources, so we have to find a way of making sure we've got plenty of them here.
Oh, that's great. I mean, support networks are so important for people. I mean, they go through quite a trauma, and they need, and a lot of people might be alone, and they need that support, don't they?
They do. They really do. Yeah, it's some people are very frightened, and they lose their confidence because they don't know when it might happen again. But to go into those support groups and be able to chat to people who have been through the same thing, or maybe even worse, and then see them sitting there getting on with their life, and so that gives people confidence that they can do it too.
Yeah, sure. And it's a funny thing that we always see, there's always someone worse off, and when we see them we're feeling, well, we're not so bad after all.
Yeah, you need that sometimes, don't you? You really do.
And is there any advice on prevention that the Heart Foundation's offering you?
Well, what we want people to do right now is actually find out their risk. So go and see your GP or the practice nurse, but have what we call a heart and diabetes check. So find out, have you got high blood pressure, running away there that's doing all sorts of damage that you've got no idea about? Is your cholesterol high? How about your blood sugars? Are you at risk of diabetes? So if we can find those things out, then the doctors can take action and look at lifestyle, but sometimes it requires medication and sort of lower that risk a bit. Sure. So that's a big thing at the moment. The other thing we want people to do is, if they have pains in their chest, shoulder, their neck, they just really feeling uncomfortable, dial 111. and get that ambulance, because those paramedics are pretty well trained. Get them to come check you out, and if they believe that there's a need, they'll rush you into hospital. But don't try and drive yourself. Don't ask a family member to take you, and don't call a taxi, because you know we need to get that that initial response to you straight away.
And I mean, the St John Ambulance, that's what they're there for, and they're not going to tell you off if you get it wrong?
They're not. No, they're not. But there's a lot of people who are going to be very upset if you do get it wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any other things on the Heart Foundation's radar coming up?
Well, it's World Smoke Free Day coming up, 31st of May. And so actually on Saturday, we're going to be at the market with a smoke-free car, promoting, we want to promote people, just keep your car smoke-free for a start, you know. It's so bad for our children, and we want people to just start thinking about the danger that they're putting others in with smoking in their cars. And of course, a lot of people say, well, I blow the smoke out the window, but what they don't realise is that 3/4 of it blows back in. The poisons from the smoke get caught up in the upholstery and in the seat covers, and so they're just horrible places. So smoke-free cars.
Avril, thanks very much for all your work on behalf of the community, and thanks for talking to us today.
Thank you.
Over the past few weeks, there have been various issues that we would have liked to have had the opportunity to present Council's side of issues raised. It is unfortunate that Mainland has been unable to get comment from Council on these issues. The Deputy Mayor has been too busy to be interviewed regarding the statements made in the long-term plan about changes to community funding, while the Mayor happened to be in China. The Mayor herself has declined to comment on her trip to China, and following Mainland's news items concerning the changes to the rating system and the pet crematorium, the Mayor won't make a comment until after a decision has been made. We can only hope that Council will see fit to properly inform the community once decisions have been made, though this could be considered a little late by some. After the break, we'll bring you the latest weather update and some events and happenings coming up from around the region.
Hi everyone, I'm Malcolm Harris from the Facilitators. We now look after sales for Mainland TV, radio, Sky and online. New Zealand On Air's latest Colmar Brunton survey confirms Mainland's large multimedia audience. If you're in business or want to put a message out to everyone in the Nelson Tasman region, plus nationwide on Sky or worldwide online, please give me a call or see our website at www.mainlandtv.nz.
I'm Francis from Nelson Auto Glass. We repair all auto glass, stone chips, windscreen replacements, scratch removal.
If you have an auto glass issue, our team will sort it.
Nelson Auto Glass Specialists, 84 Vanguard Street, Nelson.
.1 The Shed.
Welcome me hearties to Smuggler's Pub and Cafe, famous for hearty meals, craft ales and a friendly service way. Sensational seasonal menus with meals all day and evening too, or sail in for a snack with special menus for young smugglers and you. Settle in for a jolly old time, relax and enjoy our award-winning dining and a lovely fine wine. Decked out in an old worldly way, we're open 7 days. Book or come on in to 8 Muritai Street, not far from a beach, walk or swim. Phone 546408.
Discover the Belgrove Tavern, just 20 minutes south of Richmond on State Highway 6. A restaurant, functions, weddings, barbecue, a garden bar with lots of room for kids. Come in, see us.
Nelson Live Poets Society presents Bernadette Hall at the Free House in Nelson on Monday the 25th of May. There's music from 6:45 with Honey Simpson and an open mic session from 7 p.m. There's a featured poet, Lindsay Wood, from 7:20 p.m. and guest poet Bernadette Hall from 7:45. Open mic session 2, poems and songs from 8:15 p.m. It's a Koha entry. On behalf of the team here at Mainland Television News, thank you for joining us, and we'll bring you the latest news and events from around the region again tomorrow.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Hi, my name's Ian Mortimer. Mortimer Auto Upholstery is your one-stop shop for all your upholstery needs. We do car and boat interiors, boat canopies, ute tonneau covers, canvas and PVC fabrication. Call in and see us in Oxford Mews, 72 Oxford Street, Richmond.
Discover the Belgrove Tavern just 20 minutes south of Richmond on State Highway 6. A restaurant, functions, weddings, barbecue, garden bar with lots of room for kids. Come in, see us.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
We're the team at JCar, right here in Nelson, 120 Hardy Street. Our shop is full of electronic items,
including security alarm systems, electronic components,
solar and power,
electronics toys,
sound systems, cables, and much, much more.
JCar. 120 Hardy Street, Nelson.
Why would you want to pay as much as $1,000 for a single bed mattress when you can buy a high quality locally made mattress like this for as little as $220? And a queen size mattress could cost you in excess of $3,000, but at Nelson Beds you could have a mattress like this as low as $425. So why would you go out and spend a fortune on your child's bedroom when you can come to Nelson Beds and buy a complete single mattress and base set, a 7-drawer Scotch chest, a headboard and a 3-drawer bedside cabinet for as little as $979? So call and discuss our custom manufacturing options and local after sales service at Nelson Beds, Nelson's only bedding manufacturer.
Welcome to Smugglers Pub and Cafe, open 7 days a week with free parking all day. Our lunch menus have that old-fashioned flavour where we treat you like treasure with the food you'll savour. We cater for children, grannies and granddads too, with special rates and privileges given to the elderly lunchtime crew. Our staff are friendly and kind and want to see you all come back time after time. Daytime or evening, it doesn't matter. Give us a call on 546 4084 and we'll be happy to spoil ya.
Rats, stoats and possums are killing our native birds and reptiles. You can stop this tragedy.
The Brookway Marama Sanctuary is building a pest-proof fence which will allow native wildlife to flourish and spread into our lives.
Help us preserve our native wildlife.
Your support is needed now. You can personally or as a group sponsor a fence post for as little as $100, including the legacy of a personalised plaque.
Go to thebrooksanctuary.org or give us a call.
And be part of this exciting community project.
The Brookway Marama Sanctuary, returning nature to the Nelson region.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.